Gaffer, obviously Tamworth tomorrow. Before we talk about tomorrow's game, I feel like it's the first time we've spoken since the incident against Scunthorpe, including Archie Harris. Are you able to provide an update on him?
I spoke with Archie over the phone and via sort of WhatsApp over the last few days. He's in a good place. He's, the important thing is that he's in good spirits after what it wasn't very nice to see, and obviously everyone who was here at the game, it wasn't something you often see on a football pitch. So a little bit scary, and I mentioned it sort of after the game. I thought that our medical team and the way that we handled that situation was excellent, and we're lucky to have those guys. Obviously I know them very well. They're talented in their own field, and I think for Archie it's great to feel the feeling that you're getting well looked after instantly, and the message to the rest of the lads as well is that we've got good people in those areas that we hope we don't have to see their expertise like that again, but it's thankful that we have got those guys in the building, and the way everybody conducted themselves, and from the fans, from the away supporters as well, and obviously myself and my staff, and the opposite bench. It was a heated moment, and it was quickly obvious what the important part was to look after people's safety, and I think we handled that situation really well. And to have Archie now back at home recuperating, making a steady progress in the right way, and be back on the grass when he's ready.
Yeah, during those conversations that you had with him, did he remember his cross that he put in? It was an excellent cross, and it obviously led to our equaliser.
Yeah, no, he remembers that. There wasn't too much after that he does remember, which it's your body, it's your brain, it's how we're designed, I suppose. It was a violent sort of contact on the head, and maybe it's sometimes you don't want to remember those things. So hopefully he can come back as he was in the same form, and deliver those types of crosses again and again before the end of the season. Yeah,
what does that road to recovery look like? Because it's one that obviously goes without saying, you don't want to rush and you want to make sure that you get it right, but what does that look like for a concussion? Or
as far as I understand it, and obviously I'm not an expert, the conversations I've had is it's his first incident from a concussions point of view. And at the beginning of the season, they do different concussion tests to see where you are on a level, which I call it the iPad test, if you like, because that's how it's been referred to as me. So he'll go through those that routine and see where he was and where he is, and then it's about off feet for the first 2 or 3 days, get yourself feeling fit and wanting to leave the house and leave the bed and get up and walk around, and then it's about being out, and it's a slow recovery. And I think the first 7 to 10 days are literally walking and a little bit of light jogging and looking out for any sort of defects, if you like, or any abnormalities that you're not used to feeling. I know that some lads have, with concussion, have still felt sick and a little bit of dizziness, and within sort of 7-10 days after the event. So it's just making sure that becomes slow and steady. I don't think it'd be quite 3 weeks if everything goes well. Certainly for the next couple of weeks we'll be without him, and he will have to be feeling 100%, because you need to be stepping onto the field 100% confident in your own body and what you can achieve, and that's from not just heading the ball but with your feet as well, and sort of the proprioception type of the sport it is, with the ball at your feet, and it's just getting back to feeling comfortable. And we're not going to put any pressure on him in that department, and I know that he's wants to get back in here with the lads, and obviously he's a Bournemouth player, and they reserve the right totally to make sure that he's 100% fit, but he wants to come in and do a lot of his rehab with us, and we're back amongst the group, which is obviously a positive sign.
Yeah, Gaffer, Tamworth tomorrow afternoon. Again, that last season they got the better of us. How determined are the players, and how determined are you to get revenge, if you like?
Yeah, I don't like to use the word revenge. I just think it's football, and have we learnt something from playing Tamworth last season? I like to think we have. We're a different group. I tried to have a little look. Actually, this morning I was having a conversation in the office who from our squad remembers the game from last year, and there's not as many as you think. So it shows the transition that we've made and that what we're in. And there's no bones about it. Everyone in the league will tell you the same thing. It's a tough place to go, and they thrive on that. It's quite a game where there's a lot of fan involvement as well. It's tight, and the fans are by the dugout, and they're close to the pitch. So it's all part of playing in this division. It's all part of football, and we need to deal with whatever they throw at us.
Yeah, although it's still in the balance as to whether this goal will count. Harvey Saunders netted his second in 2 games for us. What has he added to the squad since coming in, other than the amazing goals?
Yeah, I think first of all, I think his willingness to come and join us was a big factor. The conversation was very simple, and he's even the tone and the excitement in his voice about coming to play football, that goes a long way. We are Little Eastleigh, and it is difficult to attract players, and when you find someone that wants to come, you have to factor that in, and it's a massive positive. He wanted to get a little bit more south to be closer to his girlfriend, and he's due a little one, so it's understanding from that side. So from his personal side, he wanted to be this way, but ultimately he wanted to get back on the grass and get back to doing what he loves to do. And he's 100% effort. He gives you 100% commitment. He's a great character in and around the dressing room, and as a manager, as a coach, he's asking questions on what we want from him, asking questions on what the team wants from him, and generally all round good guy. So we're really happy with his work rate and his willingness to be here, and the icing on the cake is he's produced a couple of moments for us which have been big impact for us, and obviously for himself as well. So really pleased with him.
Yeah, 11th after 6 games if you don't include Tuesday's result. How does that sound to you at this early stage of the season?
I mentioned it the other day. I'm not big on looking at the leagues, and I'll tell you the reason why. I looked at it last year after 5 games. So look, it's about us keep trying to improve the squad, keep trying to improve what we're doing. Have I seen us play a perfect game yet? I haven't. Have I seen moments of perfect play? I have, but it's can we produce more and more moments like that in game, so that we can have a 90 minutes or 95 minutes or 98, whatever they decide these days, of real focus and real drive and enthusiasm in the way that we want to play. And we look to improve all the time, and the league position, of course it's not irrelevant now, but I'm not as focused on it this year as probably I was last year, and I think that's positive.
Yeah, Lloyd Humphries made a return from injury against Scunthorpe. How do you think he got on?
He got on too early. That's how he got on. He wasn't supposed to be part of the plan. That was in my head more for him as a come back in, being with the squad. You've worked really hard through the summer, really hard pre-season to get yourself physically in a place where you can put the shirt on and be out with us. And in my head, it was there's an opportunity to get him on the bench because of injuries, and we're suffering a little bit with that at the moment. So it was a surprise to me that we had to make that call. But anyone that was in Lloydie's company for anything longer than 30 seconds, you can't help but like the guy. You can't help but want him to perform well and want good things for him. He's a great character, and his manner is excellent. He just wants to be out on the grass playing football and give everything. And the team know that, the squad feels that. He's one of our guys in the dressing room. So to get him on the pitch, and like I say, with no pre-season games, probably 2 weeks of sort of mini pre-season with the physio, probably 3 sessions of joining in but not being involved in the whole session from start to finish, and then come on and have to play, 30 odd minutes to the level he did. I was really pleased for him and for the medical team to get him in that condition.
Yeah, speaking of back on the grass, albeit not the stadium grass, the training grass, Niall Marr made a return as well. How's he getting on?
No, I started his running, which was when you've been out with a cruise ship, it's a big timeline. It's sort of stage 3 where you're like, you're now out on the grass and starting to do some plodding. So yeah, it was nice to have him running around the pitch while we're training, and he wants to get involved with his mouth, if not with his feet at the moment. So it's positive to have him in the group. It's positive that he's now at a stage. It's a running sport, and when you're injured and you can't move around and you're used to moving around, it's tough. So it's nice that he can now get to that phase where he feels like he's returning to play, he's returning to the sport, and that's great news for him and for us.
Perfect. Good luck for tomorrow.
Top man, thank you.